Hello everyone and welcome to day one of background jewellery. Now let me just bring this back into on screen so everyone can see that we're on day one. So this is a mammoth challenge. I've set myself no idea how well it'll go, whether it'll work or whether it won't, but this is day one and this is spruce. So basically Christmas tree leaves. I know we're at the end of Christmas now and you're probably not going to really do much Christmas tree colourings or anything like that, but it will come in handy for next year. So while I've still got this Christmas colouring finished, I'm going to do spruce in the background. Now, just because we're doing a background does not mean to say I have to do the complete full page. I don't. So we will just do what I feel like I want to do or how much I want to do. So for spruce, I'm going to keep off with a really sharp nib. Very, very sharp. And I'm literally going to run from a corner and flick that out like that. I'm not bothered if it goes over the bird or not. So I'm using Faber-Castell Burnt Sienna. I'm just using Faber-Castell on these ones because that's the colour I used on the page itself. So we're going to have these running, and I don't mind, like I said, if they come out from over the top of the picture or not, because obviously it comes in between. So I'm going to flick some down here. I'm going to flick one through them. Obviously one will come through here and there'll be some running through there and out the top. They'll all be coming at different directions. Let's run one up through there. I think every kid in the street is out today and the bit of snow that we've had. So this one, I am going to flick it down to here and then stop and flick it out there. And this one, I'm going to come down here and flick it, just be more detail with them ones. So that's for this set of colours that I'm using. So I'm going to be using Burnt Sienna, Hooker's Green, May Green and Permanent Green. I'm just going to get these to a really nice point on all these pencils. I do slam them down. I need to stop doing that actually. That probably makes some people cringe. Okay, so all these ones are literally the first set of colours and then I've got another set of branch colours. So what I'm going to do is start off with the lightest, which is May Green. And I'm literally going to flick. So I'm coming out. And like I said, it won't matter if it goes over the colour that you've done. And what I'm doing towards the end, I'm making it come towards a point. And then the same this way. And that's basically all I'm going to do with that. Making it come to a point. And the same with this side. If you want them to look a bit more curvier, you can do. Hopefully it's capturing this, but this is the lightest green anyway, so you probably won't see all of it. And I'm keeping a space in between each one purely because you're going to go in with some other colours. And you will have bits of spruce that will go in between your ornament. So don't worry about any that might go over your picture, because some would naturally come through your ornament. And like I said, crossover as well, because obviously that's what it would do. Where you've got darker colours anyway, you wouldn't see it. And same here. just using the ease of your wrist. And then these ones that are coming down here, you can make them big, you can make them longer. And then the same on here. These flicks, I'm trying to be a little bit more methodical with them, purely because I want these to look like they're in front of it. I do apologise for the sound that's coming from some kids outside. That is not my children, so they sound like they should be in a zoo. Okay, so that's them done. So that's them, the lightest colour. Then we're going to move on to permanent green. You can't really see that. It doesn't allow it to shine through. So go back again, and we're going in between the ones that we've just put in. Same, just going with the curvature of your wrist. And as you can see, I'm going over that, but you can still see the bird, so don't be worrying about that. Then down here. Every time I use these pencils at the minute, I don't know why, but I'm getting an itch. My skin goes so itchy. And I've no idea why. Obviously, if you've got some really light areas and you don't want to cover them, then try and not do. Just go in between like I did with the deer at the bottom. But all these colours are mainly darker than what I'm using, so I'm not too worried about that. And it's really the easiest way to do spruce. I'll not be showing you anything complicated, because I don't do complicated myself. So anywhere I can make it look good without it being too much hard work, then I've done my job then, haven't I? So here I'm just being careful, because I don't want it to go over the reindeers. Okay, and then we're going to go in with Hooker's green. Not too sure if it's coming up on the camera, that. So again, we're going to go in between there with the Hooker's green. On this bit I'm going to kind of start cross hatching, because I want these to look like they're coming over the top of that brown line that we did. So I'm just crossing these in different directions, and this will help it look like it's coming out, if that makes sense. where you're filling out the whites of your paper now. Oh, I've actually missed a whole one out there. Back with this. Just keep your pencil sharp. And hopefully I succeed with this and I can do all of them that I've got wrote down and planned. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I set myself up to do? But we're going to be positive about it, because, you know, if I pull it off, you know, it'll be a really good achievement for me. A really good achievement, so I'm going to be really proud of myself. I'm going to click all these out. I'm going off centre with this, don't forget. And it's surprising just what a bunch of lines does. The effect that it gives you all together. I actually quite like doing this. So on that, you should be able to see all the colours that you've put into that. So I'm putting it all out here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my green, and then I'm just going to lightly colour up in the centre of that, which will just give it, because you don't want white in between. You're using your lightest colour of your greens that you've chosen. And just bringing it out in between your branches. Probably should have started this at the beginning of December, shouldn't I? And it's just rough colouring. I'm not doing anything special. It's just filling up that centre bit and getting rid of any white space, because we don't really want the white space showing. And this is where your art and your creativity comes into it, because a lot of people think, oh, I can't be creative and things like that, but you can be creative, because this is just a bunch of lines all crisscrossing around each other, and it looks like a tree branch. And I've done nothing hard or anything like that. It's all pretty easy what I've done. I just don't like how there's that big gap there. Better. Because really this should be filled. Let's go back to the green. Let's fill all them areas up. So nothing complicated, but easily achievable. Very easily achievable. And once you've filled all them white spaces up, we'll come in with the next colour. I think that actually looks pretty cool. So all the spaces that we've left out will be where your next bunch of colours will go. And also your spruce doesn't have to stay all green if you want to. I'll show you what you can do before I move on to the next colour. Because I know my tree downstairs has got all kinds of different types of spruce in it. I'm calling it spruce because I have no idea what its actual real term is. If you want to, you can always go back in with your burnt sienna, and you can also add in some brown. Nothing stopping you adding a bit more texture of colours in there. This is just going to bring it in a draw, right? If you can colour, you can draw, because you're learning the concept of shade and light, and all drawing is to make it come out is shade and light. It's just having that positivity in yourself and believing in yourself that you can do things. The power of positivity is a good thing. So I'm just whacking in some of this brown here, and that just helps give it a bit more texture. Like I said, we don't have to fill it all with colour. It doesn't have to be the whole page. You know, this could be, you could have cream wallpaper behind your tree. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be just pure. You don't have to fill in the whole white space, is what I'm saying. And even though in places there where I've covered the green over, you can't tell. So next up is going to be my slightly more olivey greens, and I'm going to be using Van Dyke brown, earth green, chromium green opaque, and pine green. So once again, I'm going to get my pencils really sharp. I mean, most of these already are. This will be our last colour, and we'll be going in between with these. So all the spaces you've got left out is what we'll be doing in between these. So take your, put these in order here. First of all, we're taking your Van Dyke brown, And again, I'm just going to go like this. I think we'll have one going like that as well on here. We'll have some coming out here and some coming out there. Maybe another one coming out there and a little one coming out there. And then we'll have one coming out behind here. Out behind there. One coming out here. One coming out there. One's going to come out there. One's going to come out there. One in between here. One in between there. And I don't even mind that they'll be going over the top of other things. So let's have a see how they look. So starting off with earth green. We go to this one up here, and then again we're going to start flicking out like this. These are going to look more of a deeper, darker green than the other ones you've just done. Just be mindful with your second layer. What we don't want is it going too much over, and then you do start noticing lines like this one here. It's that kind of come out in between, but that's fine because I have ornaments on my tree that have gone in between the things. But like this bit here, we need to just be very mindful of that flower, because that's just going to end up getting covered and you're ruining your work. So just with the second set of branches, just be a bit more mindful of your flicks. I think I'm going to do just a few here. I'm going to fill up these gaps here with just this one. I'm going to kind of finish it off on one side of it, leave out the bird bit, just flick here, so I'm not taking out too much of that bird, and then same at the bottom of here. A bit too straight them lines there, but it's fine, it's fine. It's all about creating, nothing's perfect. So my pencil's getting a bit, this must be a bit softer than all the others. I have to sharpen all the others in this one. So I'm being mindful again of the reindeer because I want them to be standing out at the front. So most of the areas now should be covered or coloured, should I say. And we'll have a look what gaps are left when it comes to it in a second. I think I've got everything with that one. Next up, we'll be using chromium green opaque. Be mindful of the birds again, purely because I don't want to do too many lines over that bird. And each one I'm not literally being perfect and lining it up with that line that we did first. I am on some of them going on the line, and some of them I'm going or crossing over. But I am trying to go in between the lines that I've already done. These are going to be like a longer type of branch. You see it's all filling up now and looking quite treey, which is what we're after. I'm going in between all them lines there. The perforated edges making a random noise there. There we go. Some are here. I'm trying to make sure now I'm going in between all them lines. And you're filling up that white space that might be still there. Because a lot of people avoid backgrounds because they take so long. But these are all going to be real time. I'm not going to speed any of them up. Purely so you can see that I'm trying to do backgrounds that are not necessarily really fast, but that can be achieved without having to spend an absolute ton of time. A lot of backgrounds are daunting and you're like, oh gosh, I can't spend all that time doing that. So next is, ouch, pine green. I've just stabbed myself with pine green. This is going to be where the darker areas are going to come out. I want this to look dark, so I may have to sharpen this a few more times. Remembering where they all are now, because they're all kind of gelling now into one colour. And it literally is just all lines. Oops, I was out of shot there, I do apologise. Here it is. Okay, just going to sharpen it again. And then here I'm just going to, whoopsie whoopsie. You know what I'm like for breaking my tips? I'm just going to fill in them little gaps there with that green. And if you are going at the back of something, make sure that you're taking your line right from the line of that drawing, and then you're not, it doesn't look like it's just a floating piece of line that you've done. And try and make these look a bit more distinctively darker. Okay, and I'm just going to do the back of this bird here. Obviously, if you feel more comfortable, turn your page. Sharpen it again. It's getting too blunt, even though that would be a good point for some people. For this particular thing, what I'm doing, it's too blunt. I mean, I'm not a proper artist. Some real artists may look at this and go, oh my gosh, you don't do it like that. But this is how Shellarty does it. I love how this turning out, actually. I mean, by all means, if you want to speed the video up, you can do that on YouTube settings. There should be a cog on the video which will allow you to speed it up. I think it's something like video revolution or something. You see what I've done here? With my other ones, because I haven't put the branch coming out here, so it looks weird. And then same there, need that to come out like that. Sharpen it again. And And same with this section from the ones that would have come from the back of the tree. I'm just keeping rotating my pencil, and that helps keep that point shape going. Let's flick that out. And then what I want to do with this one, with the lighter green that we used like last time, I'm just going to go then in between all these branches and fill in them white areas that these branches have left. And that is basically how you fill up a lot of area in a not so time consuming way. That is how I would do it anyway. I'm just going to fill all them where you can see lots of white around the image that you've coloured. I'm just going to colour them in. You can still see your bronze through the page that you've used earlier on. And same here. All this spruce up. I'm just going up the centre. Where that brown line is that we put in, that's all I'm doing is literally following that line and just fading it out towards the edge. And because you've got all this going on, you won't even notice where this pencil stops, but it just literally fills in all them sections of where there wouldn't be white bits. Go in between here. And there. And colour in that section. Same under here. Just basically looking where you think, well, yeah, that's a bit too white there. Just going to bring that in. It might sound like I'm being super confident here, but beforehand. I'm only super confident at this one because I've done this kind of stuff before. I wasn't super confident in knowing whether it would look right in between this with the ornament sat in front of it, but I think it's worked out pretty well. And lastly at this section. This last bit now. And there. Let's just pull that out. And that is how I would do it. Now you could go a step further and you could literally fill, you know, like fill all this gap up if you really wanted to. But I honestly don't think everything needs it. I think just work off your picture and see whether you want to fill the whole space with it. I personally wouldn't. I'm just showing you this as an example here, because I quite like where it was going anyway with that space in between. You see how easy it is just to quickly put a spruce in there. But that, everybody, is how I would do a background of a Christmas background anyway, with spruce in with an ornament sat in front of it. So that is day one spruce, and I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's not too long. And as you can see, it's still kept all the nice little bronze watercolor paints were used on it. You can still see the sparkle that I put on there from the Spectrum Noir pens on the last video. So it's not took away anything that you've done, and the colours are still vibrant, but yet you've managed to put a background in it that's not super technical, that's really easy to do, and when it's finished it looks really Christmassy. I mean, you could go as far as popping some lights in, which are literally as easy as, I've got holbein soft white here, and I'll do it here with this. So you could put a little circle in here of white. Let me grab a yellow white. I'm just using this as an example. So let's get out cadmium lemon, yellow lemon, and then you go round the outside of that with the lemon like this. I learned this technique off Chris Cheng. And then light yellow glaze around the outside of it. And then you just get your white gel pen, really whiten up that middle bit, and just get that going on the back of my hand. It's not wanting to. You can use white gel pen, or you can use a Posca, and you can add lights to it. So I've just done with that now. You know, you could do this in random areas. I'll show you this here. And then cadmium yellow lemon. Again, just pressing on firm because obviously I've already put them on, you want to be able to see the light from it. And then light yellow glaze. This is just the glow from the light. Just take your holbein and just spread that out a little bit. And then in the centre, give it a really nice white. You can do this with this, or you can do it with I was going to get really disappointed with these Arty gel pens, because when I did my review on them, they was really good, but the more I'm using them, the less a fan I'm becoming of them. So you can add a few lights in. I'll just do another one over here where they can be seen. These would just be your soft glow lights. This is just an added extra, just to show what you can add to it, especially for Christmas next year. Then Chris Cheng's video where she shows you how to do this is amazing. Mine are probably just a quick version of it. I'm just spreading that white out a little bit, and then in the centre with the white Arty pen. They keep drying up and they're not supposed to. I'm having to then go back on another piece of paper to get them to kind of activate again. See what I mean? I'll just put one more. Where can we put one more so it's even? We can't just have odd. Let's put one here. The back of the bird. You just see where I've put that circle, and then in with cadmium yellow lemon. And pressing down with quite firm pressure here. Then again with light yellow glaze. And then back in with your soft holbein and spread that white out a little bit. Over that with your yellow glaze. Is it yellow green? No, cadmium yellow lemon, sorry. Then pick it back up with your gel pen. Let me just activate it again. Just pop it in the middle. Just doesn't want to work, it's horrendous. I think I might retract my review sometimes. So some do it with this and some do it with Posca. Just trying to get it to come out, and it's just not. It's just scraping off what I've done now. Doesn't want to work. I want to find a white gel pen that's just out of this world amazing. And I don't think it's even going to happen. So let me just get some white built up on that now. There you go. So there you go. You can just put some nice little light effects in it like that. And that spruce background that you can still see all the sparkle on that we've created, and it's not took away from the colouring that you've done already. So I will list what I've done in the description, what pencils I've used to create this background if you want to do them again. I have shaded them out as well on the as I've gone along. But I hope you've enjoyed day one of background jewellery. Thank you, and I will see you on day 2 tomorrow. Thanks everybody for coming along and watching. Please leave a comment in the section below if you like what you've seen, or if you've any other suggestions you want me to try, then pop it in the comments below. But thank you very much. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye everybody.